Hello everyone, and welcome to my second Matchday vlog. This time I went to the stunning city of Kraków to attend Shakhtar's first nominally home Conference League game against Legia Warsaw. You may not know this, but each year Shakhtar picks a new city to play European football in, as we currently cannot play international games in Ukraine. When it was announced that we will play in Kraków, I was very excited. It is a city I've been wanting to visit for a while, and would be a very nice and welcome change after a very industrial Gelsenkirchen, where we played our home European games last year. The city centre is stunning, and I really enjoyed paying a visit to this old market hall in the very city centre. Unfortunately, it rained a lot during my visit, so I've not had the time and the opportunity to do as much sightseeing as I would have liked to. But this gave me an opportunity to visit some of the indoor attractions. Compared to the last video, there will be no interviews with other fans because unfortunately I had a very bad flu and my voice was basically gone. One of the aforementioned indoor attractions included this stunning city museum. A large part of it is located in this ancient cellar, and it covers the period from the ancient times to the modern era. I really liked learning about the city legend about the dragon who lived in the cave under the Wawel castle and constantly harassed the citizens of the city, and that a young shoemaker who poisoned him and eventually saved the city. Some of you might wonder why they have a scooter here. Well, it is a part of transport used by people, and thus it was deemed to be worthy of a place in museum. This room also included a 3D restoration of what the city once looked like. However, my personal favorite in the museum was this room. Just look at how creative and stunning it looks here. And here is what Wawel Castle looks like inside. I highly recommend visiting it because the museum grounds are actually free to visit. You only have to pay to go into some of the exhibitions. It was now time for the match day. I've stumbled across this massive locomotive on the way to the stadium, and I thought it was worthy of an inclusion as an attraction itself. And here, out of nowhere, the Henrik Reimann Stadium appears. It is quite small, and you only really start seeing it as you approach it. It was really cool to see the cycling lanes and people just enjoying walking right next to the stadium. Something that was also very nice to see was that there is a massive park right next to the stadium where I saw lots of citizens of Kraków just enjoying their time. Really nice and pleasant location to be in. It is safe to say that I have never seen so much police presence at a football game before. I think this is in part because of the rivalry that Wisla Kraków and Legia fans have. But I think also because Legia fans just themselves have a bit of a reputation. So to minimize the risks, police essentially required them to take these specific buses directly to the ground instead of making their own way into the stadium. Just to be on the safe side of things, to prevent any clashes or any bad stuff happening. But it looked absolutely crazy. For about a kilometer, all you could see are just police cars and then these sort of buses just having checked out the surroundings, it was time to head into the stadium. From the inside, the stadium actually looked pretty cool in my opinion. And this indoor area has an incredibly cozy vibe and is something you only usually see in hospitality and VIP area. Having benches was great for when I was getting some food there, and it just looks so nice and cozy and homely, it's hard to describe. Perhaps it's because of the size of the stadium, but I really enjoyed this little area. It was then time to head to my seats. Although there is a bit of a gap between the pitch and the seats, the pitch still feels quite close. It was nice to have the screen directly opposite us too. Call me nasty, but I was actually quite amused at one of these guys who was clearly struggling to wave the flag properly. And to be honest, there wasn't really much else going on in the ground at the time, so it was my main source of pre-match entertainment. I then went a bit closer to watch the players warming up, and from here you can really see the stands are not that far from the pitch at all, and that at every seat level you have great view of the players. Fortunately, no running tracks at this stadium, which was really great to see. I was very frustrated with how the screen was utilized, however. When the lineups were announced, it was very hard to see the players' names and pictures, and in addition the acoustics in the stadium are absolutely terrible. The constant echo made it impossible to hear the announcer. Just listen to this. and the teams were on the pitch. I was quite disappointed with the attendance. I was hoping more Wisla Kraków fans would turn up to support us against their rivals. And also, it was a very warm evening, plus 16 degrees at kickoff when it was middle of October, mind you. So I'd also hoped that a lot more Ukrainians would show up to this game. However, it was the case of quality over quantity. I have so much respect to the guys in this block. The whole night they launched the chants non-stop and made the atmosphere entirely, with the rest of the stadium joining in. It was a mystery to me why Legia fans were quiet for the first 40 minutes of the game. Later it turned out that there was a dispute about the banner they wanted to bring in, and lots of fans contemplated actually boycotting the match altogether, despite making the trip from Warsaw that day. The quality of football from us wasn't great, to be honest. Although we were a much better team than Legia technically and tactically, we really struggled with advancing the ball. A source of my frustration was the seeming inability of our centre-backs, particularly Alagram, to pass the ball to teammates in dangerous positions. For example here, in a very simple situation with plenty of options to pass the ball to, he loses the ball in a dangerous position and then Legia go on a counter-attack, where we are very lucky not to concede. Due to our incredibly poor performance, somewhat deservingly, we went into halftime losing 1-0.
So an honest halftime review from me. You can probably hear my voice is absolutely gone, but terrible performance so far. We need to get on better. Finished first half strong because obviously our centre back started pushing much higher, which is absolutely essential. But Alagram, man, he has to come off. I'm calling it now. If Alagram doesn't come off at halftime, we lose this game because we had so many good openings in the midfield and Gram just ignored them. Just simply nothing. He missed every single pass. He could have given them sort of first time quick passes very quickly and opened up Legia's defense, but he just couldn't do it. And at some point Legia just stopped pressuring him. They just give him as much time as they want because they realize that he's not going to be able to put a good pass in. So absolutely terrible so far. But the atmosphere has been pretty good, surprisingly so far. It's a very low attendance, so you can probably see around that stand is not sold out. That stand isn't even opened. Neither is that one actually. Lots of empty seats there, but the central areas are pretty well sold. Obviously, Legia, unsurprisingly, came in good numbers, so we'll see. Yeah, we need changes in the second half. If there's no subs, we're losing. Might as well write it off.
We started playing much better in the second half. A lot more aggressive, and the Brazilian players seem to have got a lot more creative freedom from Arda Turan. Finally, our 18-year-old Brazilian striker Luka Mireles scored a header and made the score 1-1.
What a game. We're playing so much better. And, well, Arda Turan made some great substitutions. So he put on, obviously, he put on Neverton, and so far Anton Hlushenko looks unbelievable. He looks absolutely fantastic. And much better interplay. The midfield finally started functioning, so we need to steal this game now. Currently, we're just entering 66 minutes, so yeah, we really need to win this game because we can. Legia created nothing, but if we don't score now, there's always a chance they get a counter-attack and score against us, so we really need to get better and score this goal.
We attacked quite a lot, and after 80th minute, we basically ran out of gas. It was a very long 10-hour journey to Kraków by bus for the team, and unfortunately it is the reality in which Ukrainian teams have to play, so a drop-off in performance was kind of to be expected late in the game. And to be honest, to me and most fans, it looked like both teams will be happy to settle for a draw. However, in the 94th minute of the game, Ihor Chekulaiev clumsily lost the ball after he could not control it after receiving the ball from a throw-in. And with the last kick of the game, Legia Warsaw were given a free kick in a perfect position. I felt very uneasy. With a perfect strike, Legia went on to win the game. We couldn't capitalise on our possession and were deservedly punished by two very clinical strikes. Shame about the result, but it is a learning experience for Arda Turan's young team of talented Brazilians and Ukrainians. Hi guys, thank you so much for watching this video until the end. This was the second European game in a row that I visited this season, and both of them just had this incredible atmosphere from our fans, which I really thoroughly enjoyed. Unfortunately, until 2026, this is the last game that I'm going to attend. However, I'm planning a very special video for you in December that I'm certain you will really like. So please stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, and if you're able, please consider donating to my channel. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.